Hey everybody, welcome to Lennd and our first public demo of our virtual studio. I'm Chris Carver, Lend's co-founder and CEO, and I just want to really thank you for all being here today. And before I begin, I just wanted to give a major shout out to our product team for creating this virtual event and webinar platform that we're using, and excited to finally show it off to folks in this group setting. We've been in beta for several months now, and it's just exciting to be at this point. So a lot more to do, but I'm really excited to show it to you guys. When we started thinking about doing this, obviously we were in the middle of the pandemic, and we just really got more and more excited the progress that we saw. So the potential of something like this, a platform like this, really to sort out the virtual needs from webinars to roundtables to interviews to fundraising events, conferences, product launches. It just continues to expand the more we talk to folks, and we're excited about doing more of these so that we can continue to get your feedback. So we really built the tool to support the entire event portfolio, and we're hoping event and marketing teams will see this as a tool to cultivate, engage, and grow their community. So if you are interested in trying this out for free, just go to our website. You can sign up and test the platform out for free, or you can always email any one of us on the team. And Justin, who I'll introduce in a moment here, he's always excited to talk to folks that are trying to figure this all out. One of the things I wanted to mention that you'll see over on your right-hand side is a indicator that says polls, and we put 3 fun little questions we'd love for people to answer throughout this time, and you can see the results in real time, but that also will help us continue to even understand more and more about what you're thinking and what your potential problems or needs are. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce my partners for today's webinar. We have Josh Perlin. He is my co-founder and CTO. And then there's also Justin Moffitt. He's our account executive and will be leading this demo today. So Justin, why don't you take it away?
All right. So welcome to the Lennd virtual platform. I'm going to do a quick overview of what it looks like on the back end to create an event, invite your attendees, create an experience, and then broadcast and use your reporting and data. The event, when you look at it, can be many different things, whether it's a webinar, a conference. The solution is scalable. So whether you're just using a few features or you're using the whole gambit to produce a full conference, it allows you to customize it to your own details. So from the dashboard here, where you land when you first create an event, you will have a management of your RSVPs, your quick get started guide, your recent RSVPs, your broadcast page, and your registration. So we're going to jump to the details of overall setting up an event. So your event name, the details behind what describes your event, your time zones, your start and finish dates. You have the ability to build your event while offline and then publish it and turn it on and off, depending on whether you want it to be a platform for people to live or you want it to open up right before the event. Customize the event to your feel. So a step up from Zoom. We've all used it many, many times, but to be able to do a webinar or an event in a new created environment with your branding, give your attendees a little bit more of a personal feel and represent you. When you go to the features, we talk about scaling up, whether you're a webinar, you just have 20 people popping in to watch you present a couple of videos, or you have full expo sponsor floors, networking tools to be able to produce an entire conference. So you can actually toggle them on and off from the window here. Setting up your actual venue. So this is where, if it's published, it's live, people can attend, register, and jump into the event. The accent color, so building your look and feel of your event and what it looks like. You can actually add a welcome video. So when people walk in, they're introduced with a warm welcome video, whether it's a highlight reel, maybe a message from you, to be able to just give it a personal feel. Your welcome messages. And as you can see to the left on your screen attending this event, you can customize your sidebar or sidebar, as well as your schedule, etc. Show social feeds, have polls on the right side. what's pinned. So if you have multiple stages, you can set what's pinned in the top right corner, which allows people to explore your event as well as jump back to the stage at any point. You might have links that click out to your website, links that click out to fundraising tabs, other additional events to book. It allows you to customize the entire look and feel. So you can see a lobby, changing icons, where you're going to jump, whether it's community sidebar, agenda, attendees. So when you jump into the actual look and feel of events, you can create it your own. The stage is where the people will attend, a little bit further customization. You have the ability to produce your entire event from within Lennd, which gives you the opportunity to share screen, have your speakers. There's actually a green room. So a step above doing a Zoom or a different type of event, you have a green room to be actually able to test sound, audio, talk to your other participants, and get ready to broadcast before you actually go live, instead of somebody just hopping on and jumping right into it. And you can see that with your Backstage link here. But if you click down, you have the option to use external streams, embed iframes, and use other sources, as well as with simulcast and RTMP stream to be able to push to other sources. So maybe you're a free to attend event and you're trying to increase your stretch and you want to push to Facebook Live or YouTube, you have the ability to do it. What I love is the recording and on-demand feature. So the ability to record your sessions, so stages, breakout rooms, and use that content. So we all know we record, we have an event, but what do we do after that? Those recordings become useful, whether you're posting them on YouTube, cutting them up into clips, the ability to access it. Maybe you have different time zones in your conference. You want people to be able to attend and look at the recordings when they're not live. It gives you a lot of options to be able to operate your event through different times. We're going to jump into a couple examples of events. So the look and feel of your event, it could be very different from somebody else's. So whether it's a marketing event to bring in leads, whether it's a simple webinar, we're going to take a look at a couple different setup events. So Cranked Up was an event we did, which is a fundraiser, and it was a cyclothon for 24 hours. You can see with the side stages we were talking about, customizing, having a secondary music stage. Team pits, which is breakout rooms, which allow you to utilize during a conference, but the creative use was the team pits for people to talk to each other during the event. The list of riders, which could be attendees. Same thing on the right, having your chat, etc. As we customize through. If we jump into the team pits, you can see the look and feel, being able to jump from different room, to have interactive conference separate from the main stage. And you can just see a very customized look and feel, creating an experience for your attendees. Or if we move into a speaker series, on your landing page, when you jump in, you're going to have your schedule. You're going to be able to tag your interests and the events you want to jump between during your event. I find with alerts and communications a big thing, which I'll show. You can actually set up alerts during the event to pop up, whether it's an SMS to remind somebody, an email, or within the app, which is great. You can see a welcome video here. They'll be able to, when you jump onto the page, your own agenda, and then navigate the side. So external links, which is great to customize your event to jump out to your web page, drive leads to a sign-up page for a demo. It gives you a lot of different options to make the event yours. If we jump back to this and we look, actually one more thing on Cranked Up. If we go back to the lobby and scroll down, if we look at the social feed, I think the integration of different marketing pieces, whether it's the social feed, linking to videos, etc., just allows you to kind of connect the dots between your marketing, whether it's people posting or pushing people to post. People can explore your feed from within the app without having to jump in. So they're not going to miss anything. Jumping to a pinned stage in the top right, there's a lot of customization around it. Building your registration, obviously one of the biggest things with an event is getting people there. There are different ways to do it from within the Lennd app. So you can create your RSVPs or sell tickets. So there's two options. You create a customized registration page to collect the details that you want for your event. So different fields, you can add custom fields, and on that page, you can show sponsors, build out the speaker list, and show the schedule. So when people land into an event, they jump to a page for registration. So I've already registered for this event, but I jump here to the page to go to it. I still see my sponsors, people involved. I can click through to speakers and flag where I want to be, as well as the overall schedule to jump through. So it gives you a lot of options to customize kind of landing pages to add value. So whether sponsors or selling sponsored packages, I think one of the toughest things from going from in-person to live is creating value for sponsors as an expo floor, or having logos, having drop-in rooms, that kind of thing. as we go back through, managing your attendees and your list, being able to see all your attendees, click and send quick emails and communication. Also from within the settings for your attendees, you can actually set up, as most of you probably received, your registration confirmations, 1-day reminders, 1-hour emails. It creates an automated tasks around the event to be able to communicate with everybody. I think when having to do it manually, it can be cumbersome, but when it's built in, to have automated emails, it gives those reminders and make sure people attend. Post-event, you can change the templates, etc., and reach out. Maybe it's sending them to a certain page or a booking. It allows you to kind of customize your run of show and then the communication around it. I love the alerts within an event, because within an event, whether it's 3 days or it's open all the time, maybe there's an update or change in schedule, warning and breaking, but it allows you to show in the portal, send an email, send an SMS, which is great for long events when people need to pop back in, who should receive that, and you can send a quick update from within the app. Around building your experience. So whether you just have a webinar, want people to pop in, you can produce a little event, or you can have breakout rooms, less like a conference where people attend. You can set the number of people who can watch, the max viewers, whether it's recorded or not. What I love is from a networking experience, you can allow people to create their own rooms. So somebody sees somebody in the attendee list they want to talk to, they can create their own room and they can talk to each other within that. It gives kind of more of an in-person experience when you attend a conference at breakouts and different between sessions, you meet people and want to talk. This gives you the ability to kind of recreate that experience from an expo floor. Whether you're building out your expo floor and list of who's attend or packages and potential selling of sponsors and exhibitors, it gives you a place to manage them, communicate, as well as sell packages. So if we look at the settings here, whether you're selling virtual booth layouts, you can set quantities and types, sponsors, so selling gold, silver sponsor packages and where they pop up as well. It allows you to add, invite, and manage your exhibitors and sponsors from within the event. From the experience standpoint of creating content, you can add content to the side. So once you have on the side here, we're going to show some examples of partner zones. So this is sponsors, a page where people can attend or jump to and look at who's available, jump out to links of social media, etc., to see who's involved in the sponsors available. The content bar, so between events, if you want people to see videos, etc., you can add content and upload it so it's readily available so people can pop through to a side content bar. Also recording, same thing. So once the recordings are done, you have the ability to transcribe, which is great for post-event, to be able to either write articles, blog posts, or post, download them quickly to keep them all, or play. So you can actually see and look at those.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, Justin, that's what we actually do with our marketing at Lennd. After these recordings are done, for example, we transcribe them right within the Lennd product, and then you get an email when the transcription's done, and it'll give you a link to view that transcription. And then you can easily copy and paste that into your blog, take the recording, upload it to YouTube or wherever you would like, and go ahead and include that in your blog post, for example. So we try and really limit the time it takes to turn around your event and create additional content from it. So that's been a really neat release we've had in the past month.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. And I think from the transcription point and evolving the product with networking, right now we have AI-empowered networking. So building categories, when people sign up through the registration page, their ability to go through, click on their interests and be able to match with other people, and the potential of speed networking, having their attendee profiles, just matching people up with networking within the event, creating that overall experience for everybody.
Yeah, and definitely the value there, that's a good point, is we've seen a lot of people, they want to ask different questions in registration as opposed to the networking and the profile piece. So having those separate places, right, the attendee profile versus the registration lets you really slice and dice the information you want to get from your attendees, and maybe not add that high barrier to entry, right, to registering for the event and getting that data later. So different ways to approach it.
Piggyback on that even more, we often see you want to keep your registration process as simple and efficient as possible. And so this secondary onboarding step that allows for networking also allows you to collect really helpful information So being able to kind of break it up and choose how you want it, whether it's a registration details or RSVP information up front, or secondary onboarding information, and collecting that for your own marketing or your own engagement purposes, is something we've heard that's really helpful. Justin, you still there?
Yes. Sorry, quick freeze there. So overall, looking at it from the attendee experience, through your schedule, jumping into a live event as you are now, the ability to fill out your profile that you've built for registration. So collecting details of those interests and the networking to be able to use the networking features. The ability to collect information. So whether you're collecting information for a CRM in the future, or a contact list for a product, or just for the networking purposes, it gives you a customization of the registration profile. And then once they enter the event, with their experience. So this is a sales training, the ability to jump out and book a one-on-one training to create business, to see the stage to the right, your custom look and feel of the overall event, looking at your agenda quickly, seeing what other attendees are there, jumping to a sponsorship floor, and then jumping back, locking out quickly, into the lobby. So whether you're looking at the attendees, answering questions and polls, the Q&A, holistic experience based on your event. So there's a lot of customization, whether it's the names of these tabs, what is on the sidebar. You have a lot of options within the app to build it for yourself. And a quick look at what it looks like from a broadcasting perspective. So on your main page here, you can see your Backstage link. Your Backstage is that bridge between the actual event and broadcasting and hosting yourself, to invite your speakers to check. So if we copy this quickly. This is an area just for your speakers. It allows you to communicate with them, allows you to share and check your audio and video, the ability to join for those speakers once they get there, to control your broadcast, to turn it on and off. In your lists to read, which is great between sessions when you have a bunch of the chat, Backstage audio. The ability to jump into a looped video in between while you set up and invite your new users. So it's a simple turnkey from within the app, as well as you can get to advanced RTMP streams and pushes and utilizing OBS for advanced production. So there's a lot of scalability in how you produce, but it's great to do everything from just within. So it allows you to invite your speakers and build your agenda and your speakers, and then have an area to have the setup for each individual session. So we took a quick look through the agenda, the ability to manage it, see what's upcoming and past as you go along, make edits, use feeds and subscribe feeds to be able to push out to other apps, websites, etc. It gives you a lot of customization around it, and then managing your speakers from within. So whether they're public on the feeds, actions around them, inviting them to that Backstage. So it gives you that extra element above a regular Zoom or broadcasting software where you're just inviting everybody with one link, everybody's on camera. It gives you a whole event look and feel around what you're trying to produce. Inviting your team. So having multiple people in the app to help build it. So you can invite your users, manage their admin settings and what they can access. So if you're running at the organization level and have multiple events, you can have 4 or 5 people working on your different events. From the organizational level, you do have a CRM. So of all your attendees that have attended with their information to be able to quickly communicate, invite to new events, overall revenue, whether you're selling tickets or not, see your events and manage them. And then manage that team. So whether you're having your team work on individual events or certain parts of it or attendee lists, it allows you to manage a lot of different people from within the app by the organization level. I think it's really powerful from a CRM perspective to have a list of everybody that's attending in your groups and your people, to communicate post-event, to export to use in CRM, to create email lists. There's a lot around post-event and at the organization level rather than just within one event.
Yeah, this is, if I can jump in here real quick, Justin, if you go back to the organizational level, we really built Lennd to support the entire event portfolio. And so, as we kind of continue to build out the features and functionality, yes, there are the key features within each webinar, within each interview, within each conference that are critical to drive engagement and things of that nature. But there's also many features that we're excited about pre-event, post-event, but across events. So that mini kind of CRM layer is really exciting for us to think about. If I am hosting a number of webinars or a number of events throughout the year to engage my audience, and I want to quickly see who is the most engaged constituent across those events, I should be able to do that fairly easily. So a lot of really exciting things beyond just the kind of event day or the few days of the event itself. And you'll see over the next few months, as we host more and more of these updates, there will be more of those types of features to come as well.
Yeah. And to touch on Samantha's question real quick about being able to add sessions to your personal calendar. So that's one of the things we're rolling out over the next 2 weeks, is as you build your agenda, right, for your attendees, already, right, they can curate their own list of sessions they want to attend. So the things we're adding there is, one, to be able to receive an SMS message reminder, to put in your phone number and be alert. Let's say it's a 3-day conference, right? You care about 5 sessions overall you want to be alerted on, adding that capability in. And then also being able to easily add it to your own personal calendar. So you can be notified on your own terms for when that session is available. So those will be coming out in the next 2 weeks here. And then I think something real quick, Justin, if you don't mind going to the reports section. On one of these events here, and then can give you all a quick overview of the different reports we offer and how that scales with the number of breakout rooms and stages that you add to your event. So if you click on reports, so out of the box with Lennd, using it for your event portfolio, for every event you get an overall event summary, which is going to give you your high-level stats. You get a list of all your registrations, and also a column in that export that tells you whether they attended or not and how much time they spent within the event itself. So that's helpful for immediately getting into your marketing product or sales product, if you choose to do that in more of like the manual import way. So event chat, get an export of all public chat in a spreadsheet. Event polls, get a list of all your polls and who answered what questions or who answered what options in the poll. Right. Again, depending on how you use polls, it's really interesting to start to get those insights about your product or about your fundraiser or anything else you're holding. Q&A, same thing, right? Get an export of all the questions asked and the answers. And then really for every stage you create, depending on what plan you're on, you get an export of the overall summary, who actually attended the stage and what sessions, and then an overall export of the chat. So the same thing goes for any of the breakout rooms that you create. Each of those will have its own individual recordings if you enable that, and then also summaries and attendance reports and chat exports. So overall, all this out of the box. A couple things we're working on here, rolling out over the next few weeks. One is analytics, so more of a visual way to understand the traction your event's getting, right? For who's registering, who's logging in, how are my exhibitors doing, how are my speakers doing, having a high level view of that, and less getting you out of spreadsheets, but giving you the top level numbers so you can get a pulse on your event. So we'll have more of a preview of that in the next demo here we do next month. And then Justin covered a couple things we just released, but the transcription, which we talked about, and then the updates to the agenda. So being able to quickly get your attendees to where they need to go within the event. So everyone's not sitting on the lobby wondering what's live, right? Giving them an idea of what's live right now in a room, on a stage, in a booth. And one of the benefits we offer, we understand, some people want to keep an element of Zoom. They want to keep WebEx. They want to keep some external part, or even if it's a fundraiser, a bidding process that's taking place on an external site. So we give you a way to actually link sessions to an external link. It doesn't have to be within Lennd, right? So you could just use Lennd as your venue wrapper and still have a lot of these things taking place outside the system. So I think it all rolls up to the customizability of the platform that Justin was talking about. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming down the pipe in the next 2 weeks. I talked a little bit about it, but something bigger we're rolling out here is email campaigns. So, think about before your event, during your event, and after your event, right? And your workflows. A lot of that is communicating with people you either want to attend your event, new people that don't know about your event that you want to make aware, and then during the event you want to communicate with people, letting them know what to expect, and then letting them know, or reminding them essentially of upcoming activities. So out of the box, and Justin showed you, and you all received it in your inboxes, the reminders, right? But sometimes you want to take that a step further. You want to customize the design of it. You want to customize it. You want to make it fit your brand or your event's brand. So what we'll be rolling out here is email campaigns. So think about it as your favorite, email campaign platform, but sized down to your event, and giving you the ability to really design these templates and use out-of-the-box templates and have those emailed out. So use case there, right? Your event ends or your event's coming up, being able to set an email campaign that sends out to all your attendees, here are the sessions you've registered for, and a summary of those. So including more intelligence, right, within the product, instead of just relying on people and having more of a static environment. So that's one of the updates that we'll be rolling out here, and that's currently in beta testing. And Chris, any other value you want to add there onto the email campaigns?
No, we know that often many folks have their CRM, or they're using some other platform. So we just want to make sure that there's the option over time to use kind of Lennd as one holistic integrated platform. So if you don't want to muddy up certain lists in your CRM, and you want to be able to quickly use the email campaigns tool that Josh was talking about, we want to make it very seamless and easy to set up, but also accentuate your brand. That's again something that we talk about quite a bit, and we'll end up talking more and more about some of the other features to come. But since we're going to do this on a fairly regular basis, we figured we'd stay really focused on what is immediately coming out. But I can tell you there are some exciting things coming out over even the next month that it'll be fun to share more with you. And really what we are doing these experiences for, these webinars for, is less about trying to sell you into the product, but more just opening this up to get your feedback over time. So I know like Samantha had a handful of questions, and really looking forward to exploring some of the integration questions that she had. And so if there are other things that you would love to dig into on ways that a system like this could help across your portfolio of events or within the event, we want to make sure that we're solving the biggest problems for you. So before we end this, Justin, I wanted to see if you had anything else you wanted to show, and if not, that's fine too.
No, I think from a question standpoint, there's to the left there, if you want to book a demo, I'm available to walk through some instances of specific events. Every event's a little bit different, and we can walk through the fits in them, but a build looks around your event and hopefully get you into a demo account to be able to experience the product. So when you have questions, feel free to reach out, book a demo, and we can walk through your specific instance and how we can help you go virtual or take you to the next level of virtual and scale.
Yeah, and I will say that if you're not ready necessarily for Justin and the demo and all of that stuff, that's fine too. I'm going to put my email in the chat below, because like I said, if we can just explore and understand those problems and understand what you're seeing out there, many of you are extremely knowledgeable about what's going on. You've probably tried one or two or maybe more virtual platforms as it is, and now thinking about hybrid. So those are all, exploratory conversations that we would love to have with you as well. It's just so we can continue to focus on the most important things. Well, thank you so much. If you do, we'll wait a couple minutes before closing this down. But if you do have any additional questions, please let us know. As I mentioned, I'm about to chat my email in the chat box below. Feel free to email me and or Justin at any time. And I thank you for taking the time to sit with us today and take a look at our platform, and we'd love your feedback.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good one. Cool. I thought it was great.
Josh, you kept freezing. So when you tried to talk in the beginning,
I kept freezing.
freeze.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think it was your internet.
I think it was your internet. Yeah, because